Oh my goodness, that's such a good topic. That's the biggest thing in education. The biggest thing they hammer on you in university is like you have to be reflective in your practice. Like you just can't do the same thing over and over and over and over again. It's like, all right, it might have worked for one group, might not work for a different group. So I think that's the biggest thing. And every day, like I'll look at my like when I do like when I sub, I'll make notes. I'm like, all right, this class was super chatty. This group was really good. They did this. And then that's the biggest thing I find with every day when I come home. With I was in a regular teaching class, but it's like, all right, what did I do well today with instruction? Am I talking too long in instruction? Am I giving too many instructions? Did they really grasp this concept? So it's like that's the biggest thing is being reflective in your practice. I think that's one thing as a teacher. You're always in your own head and you're in your own thoughts. You're like, all right, am I doing this right? Am I giving enough? Like it becomes such like mental warfare with yourself. You're like, all right, like I really hope they get this concept. I'm going to give them one more period to get this done. And it's so interesting. And I think that's something like I'm always trying to like integrate or like retool or like just figure out what works with what groups. Like grade eights, I can be a little stern. It can be a little like be kind of a hard ass and get on them. And then like grade fours and fives, I'm a little bit softer, but I can kind of joke with them. And then you put me in a kindergarten classroom and it's like, I'm a full out teddy bear. I'm on their level. I'm crouching past 90 degrees at this little kindergarten table talking to these kids. Like it's going, yes, great job. Like it's so different per grade. And I think it's so funny. And you're so like, it's almost like you're Harvey Two-Face from Batman. You're like, you have so many different personalities. That's the way I think about it.
Right.
Yeah. But that's what it comes down to is how can you be reflective and how can you adapt? Because kids will catch on. They're like, all right, Mr. S always does holes as his novel study. I'm going to slip you my novel study essay from last year. Or like, all right, Mr. S always does government in grade 4 and you're going to do student votes. So here's the crap you did last year. So like you can, and then you see it's like, all right, they love student vote. Let's keep that. All right, they hated holes. What's a different book I can use? Like, and it comes down to your year plan. You look at your year plan at the end of the year. It's like, all right, they love this. They hated this. What am I going to do for next year? What grade am I going to teach? Now we go.
Mm-hmm.
So
do you ever use the kids explicitly to let them hold a mirror up to you? So I know that takes a lot of humility, but actually asking students, that's something that I developed in Denmark was we had this big system between us where it wasn't totalitarian, where it was my rule is the law, but I had to negotiate with them, especially the class that was much more ill-behaved. I knew that I stepped in initially and was super hard ass because I find that works to show them that you have authority and that you have some kind of power.
Yeah.
In my experience, it was very fake power because my authority was predicated on being a TA that did not speak Danish, and I had no idea what disciplinary action I was actually allowed to take. So it was like, things are going to be bad if you guys don't listen. And then over time, I opened up more and took more of their feedback and kind of tailored the class towards them. So if we had a really good period, then I'd give them a positive reinforcement. I'd say, if we're really good and we work for 45 minutes, I'm going to give you guys 15 minutes and we're going to go outside.
Yeah. Oh, Hunter, that's the same thing. I forget whose theory that is. It's like, what's the salivating dog theory in psychology? What am I thinking of?
That was Pavlov.
Yeah, that was Pavlov's one. I think it's honestly the same as students. It's like if you can guide the students and give them that some form of positive reinforcement, then you can give that positive that positive stimulus. Like it's like, all right, you guys work hard. It's the same thing you said. You work hard. We can go outside for 50 minutes and just BS around and just get outside because it's nice out. And I think that's the biggest thing I always find with kids. It's like you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable in the classroom. Like it's nerve-wracking as hell. People are like, I don't know how you step in front of 30 kids and just like teach. It's like, I don't give a crap if they judge me. Like I could give a shit less. They could say, oh, Mr. S, what the hell are you wearing today? Mr. S, like, why do you always have coffee in your hand? It's like, all right, like I'm so flexible with the kids and I'm just so like, I'm not cool. I'm not hip to the game, but like, I'm just like, I just kind of empathize and try to connect with the kid. Like, oh, you kids in this TikTok generation and your cell phones. And I'm like, I have the iPhone X. I'm like, well, I got the iPhone 7 and it's still got the home button.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's the biggest thing with humility as a teacher. It's like, you have to sometimes ask kids, I'm like, all right, did you guys like this? No. All right, sweet. I'll change it for tomorrow. It's like, do you guys like this? Yes. Would you want to do this again? Yes. Do you think another class would like this next year? Yes. Perfect. Put them in back pocket and go. So I think that's the interesting. And I think that like something that's going to come with growth. Like you might be nervous as heck to ask the kids, all right, did I suck today? Was I good today? Did you guys understand this? Yes. Did I give instructions that were clear? Kind of. I'm still stuck on this part. And then you can kind of make general adjustments, and then it goes back to that same prep thing. How do you prep the next day? How can you say you had a science period, you did something with an experiment, and their instruction wasn't really clear. They're like, okay, Mr. S, your instructions weren't clear. And then be like, all right, I'm going to bump a period. I'm going to move it so I fit my hours of the week with every subject. I'm going to put this one in this spot and put this in a different spot. And then use that period to clean up what you did and let them keep going. And then once they figure it out, it's kind of you hope that it's going to be smooth sailing.